Welcome to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Oh, Emily.
Good morning, John.
Is it really a good morning? Oh my goodness, what a day. And it's early as we record this.
I know.
Today is one of those days where I can't remember what comedian did this. Oh, it was Rodney Dangerfield. He says, I got up this morning. I grabbed my coffee cup. The handle snapped off. I did this and that broke. I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. Everything I touch breaks. I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. It's been that kind of a morning. And I'm not going to lie right now. I'm hungry.
You're hungry.
And I've been doing this one meal a day thing probably for 5 days now, where I hang out till like 3 o'clock and then I have one meal and I am done. I guess that makes my intermittent fasting window 23 and 1.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've been doing that. And now today, with the stress and pressure that I've had already this morning, and as we record, it's 11 o'clock on a Thursday. We record in our live Facebook group, and it's only 11 o'clock right now, and I'm starving. And I shouldn't be, because I've been doing this for 5 days, and I haven't had a problem. I've been able to hold it off. This is what makes me emotionally eat. That's the stuff that goes on.
Let's back up a bit. What
Yes.
made you go to one meal a day instead of an 8-hour window for intermittent fasting?
Honestly, it started out by accident. I had come down here and I was supposed to, my window opened up at 12. And the next thing I know, I was doing this and that. Next thing I know, I look up and it's 3 o'clock. So then I was like, okay. And then I had a meal at 3 o'clock. Well, basically 6 o'clock, my window it closes. And I was doing stuff and I looked and the next thing I know, it's like 8 o'clock. So I was like,
Yeah.
And then I went to bed that night and I woke up the next day and I wasn't hungry. And as I was working, and I said, you know what? I think I can make it at 3 o'clock again. Let's try this. Made it 3 o'clock, had a meal, was done. Wasn't hungry the whole night. Normally if I watch TV or something, kind of get hungry. You're sitting there, you're like, I'm watching TV, I should be eating. So none of that happened. And I just kept, doing it. And then there is that one part of, it's not really, I guess it's intermittent fasting, or I'm not 100% sure. They call it one meal a day.
Yeah, that's actually the person I learned a lot about intermittent fasting from, Jen Stevens. She wrote the book Delay, Don't Deny. She is now on a one meal a day thing, and a lot of the stuff she talks about now currently is based off of one meal a day, and she shortens it to OMAD. So
Yes.
if you do a search for hashtag OMAD, you'll find a lot of her stuff and a lot of other stuff. That's actually one thing that I've noticed is if I really follow those hashtags for the diets I'm doing, I'm more inspired to keep going because I actually get those little hints and those tips of like, you can do it. Here's some more help for you.
Yeah, and also one of my clients was following intermittent fasting, and she went to one meal a day, and that wasn't really working for her. So then she started doing this thing where it's like you don't eat for 2 days and then you eat, and so it's like she's making it a longer fast. And
Yeah.
I don't think I can do more than a day.
People do it differently. And I think a lot of with fasting, and by the way, when people listen to our show, I know we're both talking about fasting, but we've talked about other diets.
Yeah, again,
As well.
we're doing what we do, and our thing is it's not you don't have to follow what we do. I mean, we have people in here that are on Weight Watchers, and you do you, boo. That's the way I look at it. We're just in
Yeah.
here in case you're having a bad day like I am, and then the one day it was 3 o'clock and something happened. I got a phone call and I had to do something else. And the next thing I know, it was 6 o'clock and I hadn't eaten at all. So I'm like, okay, so now I ate it. Now I'll tell you, at 6 o'clock, I was a little peaked. I was, my stomach was growling. I felt nauseous. I felt a little dizzy, and not dizzy, but lightheaded, I would say.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm not doing that again. And then the other thing is, if you wait too long, you shift your window. So even though I ate it at 6 o'clock, that means I almost had to wait. And I said, I'm not waiting until 6 o'clock. I'll go back to 3. Even that is like 23 hours, or no, 21 hours. Here we go. 2 plus 2 equals chicken.
Podcast math.
2 plus 2 equals chicken.
We can't do podcast math if we're live and recording. Nope.
I
I was a math tutor. I want everybody to know out there. In high school, I was a math tutor, but can't do math on a podcast.
There's something about when you're talking, your brain talking and trying to remember what you want to say, and the math part of your brain, it's like, listen, we can't do both. We're not even going to try. Every time you try, you're going to fail.
Do you want a good recording, or do you really want to know what 2 plus 2 equals?
Right.
You're not going to get both.
That's not happening. So that's kind of been my week. I got to tell you, it helps because I don't have to worry about food. It's like I'm having a meal and then I'm done. Listen, I'm having a meal.
I was just going to ask, because people will hear I'm having a meal and I'm done, and they're going to worry about calorie counting if they've never heard of 1 meal a day or looked into it or anything like that. Because I have to explain even intermittent fasting of, yes, I have a window, but you should see me eat during that window.
Yeah, I mean, that meal was a good 1,500 to 1,800 calorie meal. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say how it worked out until, later on in the show. But the one thing that I do like is it's like, okay, it's time to eat. And then, boom, if I decide to have a trough of salad with chicken and eggs, that was fine. I mean, it's fine. And to me, it was like I put something right in the middle of the day where I was hungry by the time it was time to eat. I was satisfied after eating, and it held me until it was time to go to bed. And I wasn't sitting there at the end of the day, stomach growling, not, being able to sleep. Although I have to tell you, last night I went to bed, I guess normal time, 10:30 or whatever. And I woke up at 2 o'clock like it was 9 o'clock in the morning. And I could not get back to sleep. I don't know if you've ever had that. Like, I could not. Yeah. I'm trying everything that I normally try. So then I took melatonin because I was afraid to take it that late, because then it really took melatonin. Of course, someone hit me with a rock. And then I went out, and then this morning I woke up at 10 o'clock, and I was like, 10 o'clock. Well, I guess, wait a minute, I got to go record. So I come running down the steps, getting everything set up. So, yeah, that's basically been my week. And I don't see any reason to go back. Now, Samantha is flying in on the 31st. I will not be eating 1 meal a day at that point, because Samantha's not doing what I'm doing.
Samantha is John's special lady friend.
Yes, my special lady friend. So she will be here I hope special lady friend is, okay. So Sam's my girlfriend, and she will be here on the 31st. So we'll have a week together. So that week, intermittent be damned. We'll be drinking coffee in the morning, and, it's whatever. It's a week. I'm not even sorry.
I'm not even sorry. I'm not even sorry.
Yeah, I'm not even sorry.
Guys, if we could get that trending, that would be even...
Hashtag I'm not even sorry.
Take a picture of something that you are not even sorry for this week, and just hashtag I'm not even sorry.
Not even sorry.
I'd love to see that. Let us know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, basically, that's what I'm doing. And I don't feel as swollen as I normally do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm still taking the pill like I know, but still, at the end of the day, everything felt like swollen. And since I'm doing this 1 meal a day, I don't feel that. I don't have that. I'm moving around better, which I know that because the more I move around, like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, vey with those knees. God, if I could get a new set of knees, that would be fantastic.
That's one of the really great things that I like about intermittent fasting, and why I really don't have a problem sticking to it, is because of how good it makes me feel. And especially because it's known for taking away a lot of inflammation that people feel. And that sounds like what you're talking about with your knees and your joints and waking up with the inflammation. And so this seems to be a good window for you.
Yeah, it's really working out well.
I had another question too with the shorter window. And one of the reasons, for those who don't know, that I started doing intermittent fasting was for my ADHD, was for the focus. Have you noticed your focus better when you're fasting, especially? That's me right now. Like I'm in my fasting window and I'm laser focused right now.
Okay, so what happened in the beginning of the year was I was really low on clients. Podcasters, they start a podcast, they podcast for a couple months, then they're sick of podcasting, it's too hard, they drop off, and you say, okay, so you're constantly rolling through new clients. Well, the beginning of the year, I got inundated. For me, trying to keep everything organized. I'm not an organized person. It's my Achilles heel with everything I've ever done. I am not organized. So just trying to stay organized. I don't know if I'm laser focused because everything's going, like I'm in the middle of editing and the phone rings and I look and it's a client, or I'm in the middle of editing and I see a notification pop up and a client sends me an email and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't continue. I have to find out what's going on.
Oh, gosh.
I can't. I mean, I would try. So I tried turning off my notifications.
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing happened. And then one time I finished the show. I go back. I said, okay, now it's time to check my email. And then also I see like 4 emails. Hey, what's going on? Are you there? Did you die? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? In 3 hours? I got 3 every hour. It's like,
Oh
you
my
didn't answer
gosh.
your email. I need to talk to you.
You've made yourself so available.
I have. How do I stop that?
Oh my gosh, you got to start setting boundaries, my friend.
How do you set a boundary? Do I need an
Oh.
electric fence? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how I started doing it. I think I kind of eased my clients into the fact that I check my email once or twice a day at the most. And the thing is with my phone too, if I get an email, it'll give me sort of the first 2 lines of it. So I can kind of get an idea, like, is this something that I need to answer right away? Or is this something that, all right, when I check my email at 8 o'clock tonight, can I answer it then?
Yeah, mine, I get a ding. Like I'll be sitting there and all
Oh
of a
my God, turn those sounds off. The
I'm
sounds
trying.
are
I-
awful.
Emily, I swear I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I hear, what? What just happened? Who needs me? And then I gotta tell you, and then sometimes it's like, what's going on here?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, no wonder this window works for you. It means you can be more in reactive mode than trying to be proactive about planning and eating food, which again, that's why I love intermittent fasting, is I only have to think about it for a tiny window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like I said, it's just been, as far, well, listen to me now. I can't even finish the sentence.
I know.
My ADHD is on fire.
John.
It's like, can't stop it.
Poor John.
I don't know what to do.
Okay, go back to your tools. What are your breathing exercises?
Oh, breathing. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Breathing. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that really has helped me is the daily yoga and just 10 minutes a day. Just doing that one thing that's just for me that kind of centers myself. And if I tell myself, okay, I get to check off something on my list, and that makes me feel really good that I get to check something off. And I know you're not a writer downer, but
I started. I started.
Oh,
I
yeah?
was. I started writing downy.
writing down.
I started. Yeah, because it's like something would happen. I would, in my mind, I would think of something. I'm like, oh, and I would write it down, and then I would okay, now back to. And then I'm sitting there doing something, and as you're editing, you're looking ahead and all, and then something would pop into my head. I'm like, ooh.
When you get to this level, let me know. When you have all the Post-its all over the place, let me know. And you know what? The worst thing, if it's not on a Post-it, it probably won't get done.
Okay, so I went to Amazon, and I looked at ordering Post-its. Okay, and I said, no, stop it now. Stop it. So what I use, now I'm going to hold this up I use a steno book. Okay, that's my Post-it. I said, you're not going to Post-its because if I went to Post-it, it would look like a Post-it factory exploded in my house. There would be everywhere.
I still have, for my journalism days, I still make my husband grab these at work. the reporter's notebooks because I love
Ah.
these. I love these reporter's notebooks so much. And these are what I use when I have to write out something quick, like I have a task to do. Like actually, this one is just a bunch of brainstorming stuff for a giveaway I'm doing on Instagram. That's all this is because I know I can just toss this when I'm done with it. But like a Post-it, there's something satisfying about picking it up and crumpling it up and being like, yep, I am so done with this and throwing it away. Like I think that's even more
Oh,
dopamine than checking it off for me sometimes as I open this up because I needed this one.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, it's been really, really crazy right now. I mean, yeah, so right now my whole life is on fire. I feel like Australia. I mean, everything is on fire.
By the way, we're sorry, Australia. We don't mean to make
Well,
jokes
I'm not
about.
trying to make fun.
No.
I'm trying to use a analogy.
I know.
An analogy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to do. Today, I come down here and I'm in reactive mode. I'm not planning. I'm reacting to everything. Okay. So let me back up. I used to say what I love about the elevator business when I was a mechanic was what I hated about the elevator business as a mechanic. You made a plan what you were going to do, and you had that plan started at 7:00. At 8:30, people were stuck in elevators somewhere. This guy didn't call. Wait, this guy called in sick. By 8:30, your plan was out the window, and now you're in reactive mode. Your boss calls you, hey, so-and-so didn't come in. He's got 4 people stuck in an elevator across town. Can you get there? Yeah, hang on. I'll be on my way. So you jump in the van, you drive across, you get him out, you see if you can fix it real quick. If it's something real bad, you say, hey, listen, this elevator guys have standard stories that they use to get them out of trouble. So the standard story is, oh, you know what? We don't have this part. I'm ordering it now to be in overnight, which means I don't have time to fix this. I can't figure out what's going on right now. Your mechanic hopefully will be back in tomorrow, and he can take care of this. But I came in and got your elevator out. I secured it so no one else will get trapped in it, and I'm on my way to go do something else. And when vacations started in the summertime, and I'm saying like from the first week of July until Labor Day, there was like 4 or 5 mechanics off every week. So you didn't even plan anything. You got a cup of coffee. You just waited for the calls to come in. So for 20 years of my life, I lived in reactive mode. There was no planning. There was no sense in planning. Now I have to plan.
Yeah.
I can't be in reactive mode because I'm always up against the wall. You always have that anxiety, that angst. And that has been my week. But through all that, I did not binge eat one time. I didn't go and say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go get something to eat, or I'm not going to go. Hey, thought about it. I'm going to order a pizza. Your mind is like, I need something. You got to give me something to calm down. I need a pizza. If I drank, it'd be like, I need a beer. But I don't drink. So it's like, I need a pizza. So in your mind says, all right, I know how to trick him. He's stupid. I'll tell you what I'm going to tell him. Listen, order a pizza. You have 2 slices tonight. Throw it in the refrigerator. You've got a meal for the rest of the week. So then I go, you know what? Hey, no, that's not how that works. What happens is I order a pizza. I eat 4 slices right now. I put it in the refrigerator. And before I wake up tomorrow morning, the other 4 slices are gone. All right? You lie on me. You're a liar. He's like, well, it could happen. It might happen. It's a possibility. It hasn't, but it could. I got to figure out how to get out of reactive mode and into more of a planning mode.
You know what sucks about that? You have to plan a time to plan.
It's so
I'm
funny.
serious. It sounds so simple, but it's one of those things like if I don't have this time to plan, I do my daily planning in the morning and I do my weekly planning on Sundays, and I have those as a reminder on my Google Calendar, so I have to mark it as done. And it pops up on my phone too. Like I have really integrated Google as much as I can to kind of be my second brain at this point. I've had to. Like that's the only way, unless you have a team of people working with you. Oh, what's this?
So
What's Clever Fox? Oh.
So see, here we go. So Craig in the chat, he's watching this live. He says, have you guys ever heard of Clever Fox planners? I have not. It really helps me avoid those distractions that John's talking about. All right, so I'm going to go back to the elevator industry. One of the guys that I apprenticed under, he used to have this little toolbox.
Mhm.
And in that toolbox, he had everything to fix every elevator. It was amazing. I mean, it only weighed about 12 pounds, and he was a little guy. So he was like, I can't carry 25 pounds around. And look at me. I can't do it. He says, it hurts my shoulder and all that stuff. So he made a box that was like 12 pounds. It was a little tiny. It looked like it was maybe a little bit bigger than a shoebox. And it had everything in it. I, for the rest of my elevator career, searched for the perfect tool bag where I could put everything in where I knew where it was and how I was organized. And I never found the perfect tool bag. Never. Now, here we go to this, right? Podcasting, internet business, and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm trying to find the perfect organizing system that I can work in that works for me. And I don't think, now of course I'm going to look at Clever Fox planners. Of course I'm going to do that. So for me, I got to be able, like, I'm not a big writer downer, pick a upper.
I like it.
Writer downer.
Writer downer.
Writer downer.
Writer downer for our waiters.
Right. So I put a steno pad in my truck because when everything around you is on fire, it's hard to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to plan. Like, you don't want to plan how to put out the fire while you're in the fire. So I figured I'll go grab a cup of coffee. I'll go down to my space where I relax, which is the river. There's a little park there right on the water. And it's really been beautiful here. I mean, it's been in the 50s here. I feel bad for Canada. I was talking to Samantha last night. She lives in Saskatchewan. It was negative 57 degrees Celsius. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going up there in the wintertime. So I would take my coffee and I went to go down to the river and I'm starting to write down things. And all of a sudden I get a call from my daughter and she's got a flat tire. Well, there we go. Everything's out the window. So I couldn't even plan to plan. Well, I planned to plan, but I couldn't even get my plan out that I planned to plan. There's a lot of double words in this episode.
There is. I would love to make a word cloud for this episode and just see plan in giant letters at that point. But I think, John, this just pushes us more toward our network of podcasts, this one being the flagship, Hate to Wait. There's Hate to Cook, and now there's Hate to Plan.
Hate to plan.
And guess what? We're not going to do any of them because we hate to plan.
I think the next one will be Hate to Life. I hate the life. I'm out lifing. I'm using life as a verb. I'm out lifing, and lifing is just kicking my ass.
Oh, that's the new adulting. I'm just lifing.
Yeah, I'm lifing.
I'm lifing.
Oh, I need to coin that. There you
do.
go. I'm lifing.
You need to do.
Hashtag lifing.
Have to.
Yeah, and when you have a food addiction or what's your comfort, what brings you comfort and everything is food, and you're out there lifing, and lifing is tough, it is really hard to get that voice in your head because that voice in your head is constantly trying to trick you. It'll say stuff to you like, you know what you deserve today? You deserved one of those McFlurry, Snickerdoodle McFlurry things. They're still there, And here's the thing. They might not always be there.
Limited
time. So, and you're out somewhere and you're driving and you're just like, well, I could just swing in there and get one. And then I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I refuse to do this. Yeah, it's been a battle, but so far, I would say that I could put an X on every day this week.
Yay.
A red X. It's been a fight.
Yeah.
It's been a real fight. All right. I've taken enough of your time, Emily. How was your week?
So I'm glad we're actually on the topic of planning a bit because I've started realizing that my son, who used to be this adorable baby cherub child, is now a toddler and is basically my kryptonite. He turns my brain to mush. By the end of the day, by 5 o'clock, I'm like you this morning. I can't string words together anymore because it's just a constant babble of, hi, Mom. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mommy. Can you make Google do this? Can you make Google do this? Ask Google to turn the lights to red. He's getting so good. And he's not saying it like that. He's saying it in the way of, Google, turn red. And I'm constantly telling Google to do things, or I'm telling him no, or he's asking another question, or he wants to jump from things, or he wants to see if he can hurt himself somehow. he's making my brain mush.
It's funny you say that because I remember back when and I was little. I was a little kid because I still remember it was in the house that we moved out of when I was 7. And I remember I was like this little kid. And the reason I know I was a little kid because I had to jump to get up on the couch. So I can still remember this now.
Yeah.
But I remember my mom would start to want to yell at me. And she couldn't use like words. It's like she didn't want to say, "You little bastard, knock it off," right? So she would go, "John." She would, "You can't stop it," or "John." I remember that. I can still remember that because we wanted to just, "You little fucker, knock it off. I swear to God, I'll throw you out the window." Now she wouldn't do that, but I'm sure she was thinking about it.
And the worst thing is, the things that you want to yell at a toddler, of course you can't. And so that physically frustrates you more because you can't even verbally get it out. So you're just like, I need to go in another room and like punch a wall or something. Just like, oh my gosh, why is this child like, just understand human. Anything human, just understand that this is not what humans do. You're acting like the wrong species.
I just got $1 million idea. And the $1 million idea is what you do is you have a platform and you have a thing and it looks like a heavy bag, but it's not heavy. It's got give to it so you don't hurt your arm. And you put it somewhere like in a closet and you just go over and kick it and bang it and punch it. Right? So you stand on it. It's like a big board, like a 4x6 piece of board that you would sit, and the other thing is mounted. So you stand on it so you don't knock it through the wall or put it through a window, and you just punch it, elbow it, kick it, and it moves, and you get that satisfaction of that release of physical energy, and then you can go back and not kill your child.
No, and I would never hurt my child in any way either. And
I know that.
But it's one of those things. Any parent of a toddler can tell you, oh my gosh, I want me back. So now that the end of the day is basically mush for me and I've hated doing work and I've ended up getting behind. And luckily I had a nice break over the holidays to kind of regroup, figure out, okay, you're about to turn 3 in a few months. We got to figure out a system. And by the way, there is now a countdown in my house to when he starts preschool because I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I can't imagine.
2 hours and 45 minutes. I know it's not exactly going to be that long. Oh my gosh, I can have an adult conversation with my husband. This is our porn, is counting down to preschool, honestly. We just sit there and we ask Google, how many days until August 26th? How many? That's what we do. That's like, we are just at our wits' end with being a parent. And it's like the toughest time right now. And I've realized I've had to pull back on so many things that I was all excited about. And anyway, to go back to planning, I've started waking up early. I decided to kind of turn myself from a night owl because I can't be a night owl anymore because he just exhausts me. So I have to wake up early so that when I wake up, I am sharp and it's all me. I don't have to worry about being interrupted, at least for a few hours. So I've been getting up. I've been trying to get up at 5, but 6 has been when I've kind of naturally woken up. And so I'm going to just move it back a few minutes earlier every day. And it's been really nice. I have been so productive. I've gotten to plan my day. I've gotten to be proactive in the beginning of the day, which works really well for me. And then for the rest of the day, I can be reactive. Like I already did my one file for the day of editing that I had to do. So I can kind of be in family mode for the rest of today where it's a lot of reactive stuff. And it's so nice. I actually really, really like it. Now, there's a downside. I'm going to bed at 9. I'm like, it's so sad. And my husband works nights too.
Okay.
So I have to really take advantage of that afternoon time with lunch and having to spend with him. And it's working out really well, but it's because I planned it out and because I'm even getting into the habit of writing down the night before going to bed, writing down the 3 things I know I have to do the next day. Like if I know I have to do it and I'm just going to be thinking about it before trying to go to bed, it's like, no, let me just write it down on a Post-it, put it on my notebook that I write in every morning, and I'll think about it tomorrow. Oh, it's working out really well. So I hope I can keep it up. Now, we are going to California in a month for a week. And so waking up at 5 or 6 over there is going to be waking up at 2 or 3. So I'm probably not going to do that, or at least I don't know. I don't know how jet lag's going to work out, but we'll see.
So while you were just talking, I just thought of 3 things that I have to do that I forgot about that I need to write down. This is exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I think this is part of what you kind of have to try to curtail.
Yeah.
Because this is what trips us up. These are the things that when you're lifing, it trips you. This has got to be the title of the episode, lifing.
You're in my head. I'm writing it down as the title of the episode right now. Yeah.
So when you're lifing, there's a certain amount of pressure that you have to release. You have to figure out a release for it. My release was eating. That was my release. So now I have to find a different release. And I thank you for bringing it. Why is it that I can't remember to just breathe? Why is it that I just can't sit there for a minute, just calm everything down, shut everything off, and just breathe? Because you're right. It really makes a difference. Because even when my daughter gets upset about a bunch of stuff, I said, listen, stop. I want you to sit there and not say a word and just breathe in, hold it for a couple seconds, and slowly breathe out. I said, now let's talk again. And it works.
It does.
Why can I tell other people to do that when their hair's on fire and I can't do it for myself? It's not in my lifing toolbox.
Your lifing toolbox.
I need a lifing toolbox that has the perfect organization system, how to handle stress. I need a lifing toolbox. I have to think about what I'm going to put in my lifing toolbox.
You know what? I got to say, having reminders, and you and I both have the same phone. We both have the Google Pixel.
Mm-hmm.
We both have Google Homes. And those reminders, I started using them. I thought they were dumb for the longest time, but I realized I need to take such simple steps, like going back to breathing and forgetting. It sounds so dumb. I forget to breathe. And then I don't notice that I've forgotten to breathe until I'm in an anxiety attack. And I'm like, why am I having an anxiety attack? Oh, yeah, I wasn't breathing because I was too busy focused on this thing running over and over and over and over again in my head instead of getting it out in a much safer way and being able to process what's going on with my body. What do I need to do? Yeah.
So Craig has a question for
Yeah.
Emily. What do you write in your notebook, Emily? Do you journal? Oh, Emily, take it from here. I will sit back.
Yeah, so I have a notebook that I write in every day. And in the morning, I do morning pages. And these are 3 pages every morning where it's just free writing. And for me, this helps me be creative. This helps me kind of start that creative process. But also for somebody with ADHD and also anxiety, which is linked to ADHD, it's kind of 2 sides of the same coin, some people would say. And being able to get it all out and see that on paper, see my thoughts on paper is so useful for me to put things into perspective, because if I don't, I will spiral. And my husband will point it out. If something happens, like we were talking about in reactive mode, and you're told something, you just have that running in your head. But as soon as I write it down, anything, it kind of takes a little bit of that fierceness away, I guess. So I have those morning pages where I get everything out. And on the last page of those, actually, I start planning my day and I write out in paragraph form kind of the order of how I want my day to go. And in doing that, I also see where I have wiggle room, and I want to make sure I have wiggle room. So then on the next page, I actually write a to-do list, and I have 3 sections where I write in the morning. I have a lot of my self-care stuff. So I actually write down, and this is something that I heard people do when they start to work at home. Like they forget those little things like brush your teeth. I have brush my teeth on there twice. I have floss on there, which by the way, was not flossing before I was working at home and doing these notebooks on a regular basis. So it does help. I have my water that I check off. I have like 4 little circles where I check off each huge container of water I drink throughout the day. And let's see, I also have one for yoga. I have making my bed. I have getting dressed because it's so easy to get out of bed and be like, well, I'm comfortable. I'll just work like this all day. And then next thing you know, it's 3 days later and you don't remember the last time you changed your shirt. So I have that on there. And then I have a section of work, just all the work stuff I have to do where I have to focus on work. And this is kind of done in a bullet journal style. So I just have little bullet marks. And if it's important, if it's something that I absolutely have to do that day, I put a box around it. And then I have other things because if I have space on that page, I'll just fill it up. I'll keep coming up with things to keep myself busy. And then I won't check those off and I'll feel like a failure. So I had to stop that and I had to just box off the things that I absolutely needed to do. And if I went to bed doing all of those things and not the other 75 tasks that I've decided that's important that day, I'm okay. And then on the bottom is the family stuff. That's the making the meals. That's getting the nap in. That's, a fairy tale costume day at school and meetings for my husband's work or something like that I have to be aware of or anything like that. And that's pretty much my notebook every day. And it's nice and filled. And actually, I got this idea from the Business Fabulous podcast. I had my daughter, when I got my new notebook, because I need to get a new notebook every 2 or 3 months at this point. I gave her a package of stickers and I said, here, just put these randomly on pages. So now whenever I flip a page, sometimes there's a little sticker from my daughter on there. So, yeah.
So it's funny you say that because one of the things when I put the second studio upstairs was so I could get to work faster. It was working out great because what I would do is I'd get up in the morning, I would brush my teeth, I would take a shower, and then as I dried off, I would just sit right there. Naked as a jaybird, and I would start working, and then you're like, do as I, because, when you get out of the shower, you're like still hot and kind of moist. I know people hate that word moist, but yeah, you got to dry. So I would sit there and I would dry. And the next thing I know, it's almost lunchtime and I'm still hanging out there. I have a towel wrapped around me. But
See? That's why you need get dressed.
Yeah, so I need to get dressed, check. So then I would just get dressed and then continue. But the studio is right off the bathroom. So I would brush my teeth and then get out of the shower, dry off, wrap a towel around me, and I would just sit down there and open up the computer and then boom, start my work. It was funny because I do it every day. Now, I couldn't do it today because I don't have the cable, my internet cable, run to the upstairs yet. So I'm afraid to use the wireless. It's too far away from the router. So I come down here. So I didn't get a chance to do that this morning. But I guess what I should do in the morning instead of just open up that computer is maybe start writing down what you did now. When I go back and edit this thing and listen to this thing, I definitely will take and use some of these tips that you have talked about today and try to incorporate that in my life to try to get it under control. When we come down here to start talking, all I knew today that I was going to, as a matter of fact, I didn't even know. We said something, and I said, oh, I've had a morning. And then, boom, here we are. And this is a conversation that I actually really needed to have because it really has affected me in the past in the way of weight loss. I would get done, and I'd be so tired and exhausted, I'm not going to go eat. I'll just, on my phone, I have an app to a pizza place. It's not even a mile from my house. They can be here in 30 minutes, and I can have a pizza here in 30 minutes. I've stopped that, even though I've had hellacious days in the past week. Hopefully this helps other people because when you're up against, when you're out lifing, it is part of it. Really is for me. So I've interrupted you. I'm sorry.
That's been my big thing is getting up earlier and realizing that if I don't get up early and kind of have time where it's just me and I can sit there and plan. And I actually really love planning. I have actually gotten to the point where I will plan so much that I don't do the thing because I like planning so much, and that's a downfall I have to work on. But I actually really like sitting, like we have a vacation coming up, a family vacation, and my husband and I get to sit down and plan out Disney, and it's like our favorite thing to do is planning.
That is cool. That I enjoy.
Yeah.
But it's the day-to-day stuff.
And, yeah, I know.
And the stuff
so you got to throw fun stuff in there. That's why I throw in yoga, and I'll throw in something like go give yourself a face massage with coconut oil. And it sounds stupid, but it's like, it's on my list. I got to get it done, Mark. You don't understand. I have to drain these lymph nodes. So
A lot of stuff that I realize is because we're talking about it here. This is actually a therapy session because today I realize that all of my life has been reactive. Everything I've done has been reactive, and I've never been proactive. And it's time to make that change. The same way it was time to make the change to stop using food as medicine, food to calm everything down. I need to stop being reactive and being proactive and do more planning. And it happened, 15 minutes ago? Why does it happen now when we talk? Who knows?
Well, I think for you, the way that I see my words on paper, and it takes away some of that, the fierceness of it, I feel like for you, it's the same thing. As soon as you say it out loud, you kind of realize that, oh, this is something that I need to address maybe, or it's finally come to light when you say it out loud. And it's funny, I'm noticing that maybe as a podcast editor, you start kind of sitting back and realizing how podcasting is therapy for so many people, even when you're listening to them, and they're like, huh, I never heard myself say that out loud before, but yeah, that's interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. It's one of the reasons why I love editing. It gives me a chance to listen to podcasts. And so there's some podcasts you do because they need an editor. It's not your cup of tea. It's about something that, you're not even interested in. And you're editing along and you're going and you're doing stuff. And then all of a sudden they say something. You're like, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So I get so much out of doing podcasting like that or editing podcasts. It gives me a chance to listen. And then other podcasts that I listen to. I'm going to tell you right now, ever since I started listening to podcasts, my life has really, really changed. And so much for the better. I think as podcasting catches on, as people learn to use it for more of a teaching tool than entertainment.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because of my age that I can sit down and listen to spoken word now and be into it, where when I was younger, and my kids don't listen to podcasts, they all listen to music. And it's funny that you say about, going to bed early and getting up earlier. We had 4 children under the age of 4. You had to sleep when the kids slept. They'd go to bed, you would go to bed. They would, so then you would get up and for me, working in the elevator business, I would go to bed at 8 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock, I'd get a call and an elevator broke down in a casino or something. You'd have to run and go fix it. So you'd run and go fix it, come back. But one of the things I would make sure that my wife would actually try to have a good night's sleep, because a frazzled wife I would rather come home to and try to get a rattlesnake out of the house than a frazzled wife.
That's what Mark does. Mark has the night shift with the kids too. So if there's somebody waking up at 3 a.m., that's him. That's all on him.
To be honest with you, 3 years old, you're coming out of it. All I can tell you is it gets better.
I know. I keep hearing that, and I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that's why I've always just wanted to have more Generation X friends than friends my old age, because whenever I hang out with friends my own age, we're all in the thick of it. We're all like, that's it. We're like, just kill us now. We're in this. But my Gen X friends, they're all like, kids are starting to get more independent, going to high school, going to college. Oh my goodness, they are becoming my clients, and I get to listen to them tell me like the days where you missed your kids. I can't wait to miss my kids. I mean, I say that. Of course I don't, but I just want that 1 second of, oh, I miss my kids. There it is. Okay. And then, I just want that.
It's okay to say you want to miss your kids. It doesn't make you a bad mother.
I know, you can hear the mom guilt. Oh,
every mom out there is like, yeah, I want to miss my kids too. Oh my God, the day that I missed my kids, what a day that was. I remember it fondly. I went out and I had breakfast and I ate a hot meal.
I'm going to talk to Mark. Sometimes we go out, we'll have a few hours to ourselves because of babysitting, and we'll go out and we're just like, what do we talk about? Politics? No. Okay, so our kids? Great.
No.
God, I know. It's like, oh my gosh, what do we talk? So then he knows more about podcasting than he ever needs to know, and I know more about video games than I ever need to know. So those are like neutral topics for us at this point. But then we also talk about the kids. So,
I'll say,
yeah.
so next time you're out with Mark, here, I'll give you something to try.
Okay.
Because it's actually worked with Samantha and I. Do a fantasy where you plan a fantasy life. Like, in other words, we did this the other day. Samantha and I, we said, all right, if you hit the lottery, what would you do? And I said, I would buy a motorhome. You would quit your job. We would get in a motorhome and we would travel over the United States. And she goes, well, how would we do that? Well, by the end of it was funny because by the end of it, we were actually arguing because I said, well, we'll just stop at a Walmart and you can sleep in the parking lot. Walmart's let RVs stop in the parking lot. It's lit. It's safe. You know, you can just do that. She goes, I'm not sleeping in a Walmart parking lot. So what's the big deal? You're just sleeping. So then now we're arguing about our fantasy retirement that's not even happening. And we laughed so hard. I said, you know something? You're ruining this fantasy. Yeah, and then we were laughing about it. But just something like that where it takes you out and you get to think about something and it actually makes you bring in what you like and what you don't like. So try that next time.
So you mean like planning, John?
Yeah, planning.
Look at that. John
Right.
likes to plan.
I do, and I don't like my plans ruined. Damn it, I'm sleeping in a park. Matter of fact, I'm taking my truck out right now, and I'm going to the nearest Walmart, and I'm sleeping in a parking lot. So, yes, now my goal is to sleep at a Walmart parking lot, and that's all I'm saying about that.
Why don't we get into some Winning Wednesdays?
Oh, you want to change the subject? I wonder why.
I sure do.
Winning Wednesday, Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Wednesday.
We still don't know how to say, I'm going to go with Mary Jo. 4 pounds down, using my Fitness Pal to keep me honest. I got to say that I need to start using that more. I have to start using my Fitness Pal more. But that is a good one. I mean, 4 pounds in a week? That's amazing.
Wow. My Fitness Pal is really good when you can use it. And the thing is, even going back to the podcast, The Productive Woman, Laura McClellan always says, if you get a planner, pick one that you're going to use. Same with something like My Fitness Pal. It works if you're going to use it. So,
exactly. Yeah, if you're not going to use it, it's worthless.
Deborah says, was smashing my goal of 10K steps a day, so I bumped it up to 12.5K a day.
Victoria says, my upper arms are much smoother. I still have no plans to expose them. You don't want to show your high Helens?
My high Helens. I have my high Helens, yeah, for sure.
All right, I have to stop the Winning Wednesdays because I have to say something. In the group that we have, Emily has a picture of her on a Christmas card and then her now. And the transformation is amazing. Like, I'm so glad you put that up there because that has to be more motivating for you.
I still look for the flaws. I'm training myself not to look for the flaws in my photos. It's a very weird thing. It's actually why I take more selfies now in a weird way, is to get myself used to seeing my face and looking for, no, this is a good thing. Look, you have cheekbones again. Look, you have an indentation. Look, you can kind of see your collarbone. That's always been your goal, is to see that stupid collarbone. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're getting a dude for that.
Thanks.
All right. Lee says, I ran 22 minutes straight yesterday. I've discovered watching an episode of a show on the treadmill keeps me from getting too bored. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And podcasts, same thing. You can get lost in a podcast. I'm really into storytelling podcasts now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of them I have that I really like. And the problem is I'm running out of them because when I'm doing stuff, I really enjoy storytelling podcasts. It kind of takes you away.
Like audio dramas?
Yeah, audio dramas. There's my nephew who also works with me in audio editing. We have one that's behind the Wondery paywall that he does. Not only does the editing, but he does the sound design behind it.
Wow.
He did. We can't share it because it's behind the paywall. It's about people that have cheated death. So this episode that he did was like the first episode. It is a woman who was flying to Peru to see her family over Christmas, and the airplane crashed. And she survived and I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. I got to get back to it. she survived coming out of the Amazon rainforest. He has the music and the sound effects in there. You think you're in the jungle with her.
That's so cool.
It adds such that I never realized this before, but in a storytelling podcast, the sound effects and everything add so much to the story.
Yeah.
And a really good storytelling podcast has that in the background. And when he sent me that to listen to it to see if it was okay, I said to him, the student has surpassed the teacher. I was so into that podcast. I had to shut it off because I had things to do. I can't wait to get back to it. And I can't go listen to it because we're not behind the paywall. So he sent me the MP3. So I can only listen to it on the computer. I got to get back to it. But that whole be taken away while you're doing something like either walking or running or something, because just the pounding and the constant, how much longer is this going to be? How much longer is it going to be? If you can get something to take you out of that, then it's a lot better. I mean, music would work, podcasting would work, anything like that. So, yeah, watching TV on the little monitor. And your phone now is a TV. You can just sit your phone on there. It has a thing that usually most of those treadmills and all have a thing to put your phone or an iPad, and you can put a TV show on, put your earbuds in, and just keep on going.
You know what? I'll tell you, one of the members in our group, Carolyn, she is a walking coach, a wellness coach, and she focuses on walking, and she has a podcast out called Wellness While Walking. It is around 30 minutes. It's usually 30 minutes. In the middle of it, there is a beep at the 15-minute mark so that if you're walking in one direction, the beep lets you know to turn around and make a loop and come back. And I love it. It's just a 30... disclaimer, I edit for it, and unfortunately, I don't get to walk while I edit it. And I'm also listening to it at a little faster speed because I edit podcasts faster than they normally go. I usually speed it up. And so I don't even get the full 30 minutes if I had a walking desk. But I was thinking that, I would love to get a walking desk and actually incorporate a workout into editing her podcast as well.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it would be great because you're focused on what's going on there while you're walking, and it would make the time go, and you would get some more exercise. Yeah. So here we go.
She talks about a lot of good stuff for walking, and especially the episode that she just did. She was talking about how a lot of us, we would do stuff when we were younger. Like for me, it was smoking, and I would say stuff like, whatever, I'll just die younger. And because of how healthcare is right now, you don't actually die younger. You get a chronic illness because medicine will keep you alive to have this chronic illness, unfortunately. And it was really, it was an interesting perspective to look more at, taking care of yourself now and doing more preventative things. So.
Yeah, it's not that you're going to die. What's going to happen is you're going to lose mobility. You're going to lose your way to enjoy life. You're not going to die. You die. So when I was at the therapist, what she said is, when people are binge eaters and they use food to medicate and stuff like this, it is the slowest way to kill yourself. Alcoholism, drug addiction, and all are faster ways to kill yourself. Everybody with these types of addictions are kind of like trying to kill themselves, whether they believe it or not. Food addiction is the slowest, most painful way. Of course I picked that. So it is the slowest, most horrible way to kill yourself. So then she would say to me, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You have daughters now that you have, you want to see them get married. You want grandkids and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, why are you doing this? And I'll tell you what, I left shook after that
session.
Yeah, that session. Thank you for the word. Jesus. So all right. So here's my dedude for that.
Yeah. Sorry, we got on a tangent.
Tangent away.
Sarah has been to the gym 2 days in a row, hoping to make it 3. Sarah's in the chat room. Let me know if you made it to 3. I don't do too much besides tread water for 20 to 30 minutes, but as long as I walk through the doors, I consider it a win. I'm focusing first on creating the habit of going, even if it means sitting in the lobby.
Wow.
Yay. I love it. That's how I got yoga to be a daily thing, was I would just start off being like, all right, as long as I did some sort of yoga, and yoga could just be standing up, reaching my arms up, and touching my toes, that's yoga. I can check that off. But once you're doing that, I'm like, okay, well, why don't I just go into the next pose and then the next pose? And that's how habits happen. That's how I've been able to do it. Oh, a little side note. I've been doing yoga in 2 days, it will be a year.
What?
Every day. I've been doing yoga. I know. So That's for Sarah. It's more doo-doots for Sarah, but I just wanted to throw that in there because I'm really excited. I was going to post something on the 18th, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing yoga for a year now, and it feels great.
Mariana did a 36-hour fast. Not too bad. 36-hour fast.
Wow. Yeah.
It's great if you can
Yeah.
do it. Just like I said, like it's a hot bath. Ease into it.
Easy. Yeah.
Ease in.
Patricia says, feeling a little down today, and I really wanted to cheat today. Happy to say I didn't and got in 12,000 steps.
Oh my God, I know that feeling. Fought it all week.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even have to dial the phone. There's an app. They'll bring you the pizza. It's so easy.
So you got to make it easy to win, not easy to fail.
Ah.
Ugh, I know.
Elizabeth says, down 1.8 pounds.
I love the next one. This is from Teresa. Found this awesome inspirational quote, and there's a graphic. It says, "You know what, Soda? You're a dick."
I said that?
By John Bukenas. Yes.
I'm quotable now.
You are so quotable, John.
I have goosebumps. What is it?
I want to make memes of so much of what you say, but I am lazy and I don't make time in my planner to make John memes. I should put that in my planner. Make John memes.
Holy cow. That's just, I'm telling you, I have two. One is soup is winter salad.
Yeah,
and
you
now,
had that meme.
And now, you know what, Soda? You're a dick. Why don't we put that on a T-shirt?
You're in charge of the merch, John. I'm giving you merch responsibility.
All right. I'm definitely making all right, I got to get a hold of somebody that has some graphic can help me. I definitely.
Hey, we have Mark Dakota in our group. He has done our 2 + 2 = chicken shirts.
Right.
We're very thankful for that. So yeah, we have plenty of people. We know people, John.
I want soup is winter salad. I want that. Yes.
I want that on a salad bowl, a super salad bowl. That's what I want. A bowl with that on it.
Soup.
So soup is, yeah.
Yeah, soup is winter salad. Yeah, soup is winter salad. There we go. All right. They are our winning Wednesdays. So you know what that means.
Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
So I am down the 3 pounds that I gained 2 weeks ago.
All right.
Yeah, I got on the scale this morning and I was like, okay, well, we're back to 0 again, but that's better than up or flat. So I'm giving myself a doot.
You should give yourself a doot. I think those 3 pounds went to me for my Shark Week. So there's that. Womp womp. But
So
whatever.
you gained 3?
I gained 3, but it was
Okay.
Shark Week. I'll be down again. It's fine. It is so nice to be able not to worry about Shark Week just screwing everything up because I have to come back and talk about Shark Week on this show. And it's nice to know that, hey, we've talked about it. We've seen the pattern that usually the next week I'm down again. I don't have to worry about it. It didn't ruin my diet. I don't have to spiral out of control and just say, well, that diet didn't work.
Right.
So.
You know what? I'm sick of this. I'm doing all this work. Nothing's happening. I'm up 3 pounds.
Oh my gosh. I have to say one of the best memes I've ever seen in regards to Shark Week and getting your period is like this cartoon uterus comes and it's like, all right, I've prepared it. It's beautiful. It's ready for a baby any second now. And then it's like, oh no, we're not actually doing that. And then it throws a hissy fit and just slams everything around. And that is exactly what it's like. The angry uterus who is decorated beautifully and you say, no, there's no party in here. And it just
Starts
wreaks
ripping
havoc.
down the decorations.
Rips everything
Throws the
out.
punch bowl out the window.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. That is exactly Shark Week, right?
I got to
there.
tell you, the male of the species, of our species, is physically stronger than the female, okay? And it has to be that way because, to be honest with you, if it wasn't that way, we would be like the Black Widow spider. Like every once a month, a woman would kill a man. There wouldn't be any men left.
No, that's not. No. But I can tell you, I've seen men with colds. You guys can't handle periods.
Oh, we're the biggest
You
babies in the
can't.
world. It's like,
You wouldn't be able to handle this.
no,
monthly.
when I'm sick, I'm miserable. I don't want to do anything. I want someone to take care of me. It's like, it's the worst. And then I see women that are sick and they have children to take up. Like, if it was me and I was sick and the kids, I was like, listen, the bottom drawer, there's Pop-Tarts in there. Knock yourself out. I don't care. Just don't die before I get better.
Okay, so we evened out this week. That's okay. We're coming back. There's always next week. We know there's going to be next week.
Absolutely. And on that note, listen, we're going to end the show. And if you'd like to join the group, and boy, oh boy, do we have some fun in this group when we're recording. There's some stuff on this episode I couldn't even put in the show. If you want to see that, you come in on Thursdays, or you don't even have to, because the episodes are up and you can watch them in the group. And you're saying to yourself, I've got to see this. How do I get into that group? Very easy. Go to hate2wait.com/Facebook. Answer one question, and you're in the group. And we have a lot of fun in there. It's non-judgmental, which is really nice. Everybody gets along.
We hope so.
We hope. We haven't had it yet. It might change this week. What do I know? But anyhow, and also for all the stuff most of the stuff we've talked about in this episode will be in the show notes. And you can find them at hate2wait.com. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back here next week.
Later, waiters.